special guest, my friend, Tyler!
Hi, guys!
I am so excited that you asked to join me today. If any of you would ever like to join and partake in a Dive Deeper video, just let one of the leaders know.
You totally should.
We've had fun doing this, so before we jump in, we have a couple of announcements.
Yes, isn't the retreat coming up soon?
Yeah, it totally is. On May 20th to 22nd, we are having our spring retreat at Kingswood Camp. I'm super excited for this time away with all of you. If anyone has some game ideas, feel free to let me know. You can always message our Instagram, Mid-Valley Youth, and I will be able to get your game inputs on there.
I loved 1, 2, 3 Turkey.
Such a good one. Also, we have one con on June 4th, which is going to be sweet.
Let's jump into our first question of the night. If you could choose a topic to cover in Dive Deeper videos, what would it be?
That's a good one. Hey, Tyler, what stood out to you this week?
Oh, hey, verses 1:16 really stood out to me.
Oh, the parable of the vineyard?
Yes, that's it. Let's go over it, then I'll point out what parts I recognized.
Okay, let's do it.
Yes, that's it. Let's go over it, then I'll point out what parts I recognized.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so it starts off with Jesus talking about the vineyard owner, getting people to work for him in his vineyard, right?
Yeah, it does. And throughout the day, the owner had other people join in to work in his vineyard.
He had agreed to pay everyone a denarius. So when the day was over, he had paid everyone their amount granted to them.
So when those who had come first got their pay, they weren't happy as they had expected more because they had been in the vineyard working longer than the others.
Then the men said to the landowner that the owner had been unfair with the pay because they had been working more hours than the ones hired last.
And then he said, I am not being unfair to you, my friend. Didn't you agree to work for a denarius?
Right, and that's when the meaning comes in and says, the last will be first and the first will be last.
All right, so what specifically stood out to you from these verses?
Verses 13 to 16 has stood out to me, Shauna. Can you read that?
Of course. He answered one of them, Friend, I haven't been unfair. Didn't you agree to work all day for the usual wage? Take your money and go. I wanted to pay this last worker the same as you. Is it against the law for me to do what I want with my money? Should you be jealous because I am kind to others? So those who are last now will be first, then, and those who will be first will be last.
Thank you so much.
Of course. So what about this part did you find intriguing?
It stood out to me because it's showing us that we are equal in different ways with Jesus. It doesn't matter how long you have followed the path of Christianity, or in this case, the vineyard, or how much effort you have invested in following the Lord. But really, it goes back to his grace for us. That Jesus looks at us and sees who we are and loves us unconditionally.
That's so true. Our relationship with Jesus is always based on his grace for us. Why don't we stop here for a discussion break?
Okay, have you ever been in a situation that you thought you were being untreated?
Oh, okay. That's so true. Our relationship with Jesus is always based on his grace for us. Why don't we stop here for a discussion break?
Okay, have you ever been in a situation that you thought you were being treated unfair, but really you're being treated to equal to the others around you? Oh, so Shauna, what do you think about the reading this week?
I enjoyed it. Wow. What stood out to me specifically was a little further into the chapter at verses 20 to 28.
Oh yeah, I think I remember that part.
Yeah, this is the part where James and John's mother comes to Jesus asking if her sons could have a place of honor next to Jesus in his kingdom.
Oh yeah, and Jesus asked if they would be able to through the same suffering with him, which Jesus then confirms that they will.
Yeah, meaning Jesus was foretelling a bit here which they would later understand about their lives.
Okay, so they were talking about places of honor. Shauna, which part stood out to you then?
Primarily verses 26 to 28. Can you read that for me?
Yeah. It says, "But among you it will be different. Whoever wants to be a leader among you must be your servant, and whoever wants to be first among you must become your slave. For even the Son of Man come not to be served, but to serve others and give his life as a ransom for many."
Thanks, Tyler.
Yeah, so about this part, did you find interesting?
Well, it honestly got me thinking about how even in our time, we want to be in a place of significance.
That's true.
Yeah, I remember when I was in high school.
Yeah, many years ago.
Hey, no. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit like a few years ago, but I'm sure the same things are happening now.
Yeah, and what did it make you remember?
I remember how there was always the pressure to fit in and to be liked, to even be popular amongst those around me.
Yeah, I get that.
And even as we grow up and get older, there's always this pressure to do well financially in our jobs and in such in life. The thing here, what Jesus is saying when they're asking him about places of honor, he tells them that in order to be first or have a place of honor, they have to become a servant.
What?
Yeah, so just like Jesus came to earth, giving up everything, even his life for us, this is how we should be as well. To put others above ourselves is key.
That's such a good point.
Yeah, so this brings us to our next discussion question. Is it hard to put others before yourself?